Welcome back to the news at 10. Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Markwe Hugun. Markwe.
Hello, Ijoma. An Abuja High Court has remanded in Suleja prisons Mrs. Maryam Sanda, who is alleged to have killed her husband, Bilyamin Bello, son of a former PDP national chairman, Mohammed Haliru Bello. The FCT command of the Nigerian police had on Monday filed a 2-count charge of culpable homicide against Mrs. Sanda, to which she is, however, pleaded not guilty. The police in the charge sheet stated that the alleged killing was premeditated. Our correspondent, Amaka Okafo, has a report.
On Sunday, the 19th of November 2017, Nigerians woke up to news of the killing of Mr. Bilyamin Bello, a son of the former national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Mohammed Haliru Bello. His wife, Mrs. Maryam Sanda, who is the daughter of Maimuna Aliyu, a former executive director of Aso Savings Bank, is alleged to have murdered him in his Maitama home in Abuja on Saturday night. Media reports suggest that Mrs. Sanda allegedly stabbed him several times based on allegations of infidelity. 6 days after the incident, the Nigerian police charged Ms. Sanda to court on 2-count charge of culpable homicide. The police in the charge alleges the killing was premeditated, and as such, they will be seeking the death penalty should the defendant be found guilty. An emotional Mrs. Sanda enters the dock and enters a not guilty plea to the 2-count charge. Counsel to Mrs. Sanda, Mr. Hussein Musa, asked the court to grant his client's bail or, in the alternative, remand her in police custody because she is still a nursing mother and it will be improper to remand her in prison custody. This request was turned down by the presiding judge, Justice Yusuf Halilu, who instead remanded her to the Suleja female prison in Niger State.
What we have just witnessed is the formal arraignment of a defendant or an accused person allegedly to have killed her husband. We filed a charge against her since on the 20th, and today we're giving a date for her formal arraignment, which is what we have just done. And then it has now been adjourned for commencement of a trial.
The hearing over, Mrs. Sanda was led to the waiting police van as she clutches her Quran, covering her face with a green scarf. Assisted by her family members and security operators, she tried to avoid being captured by the media. Mrs. Maryam Sanda's trial has been adjourned to the 7th of December 2017 for commencement of trial. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
The Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, has restated the federal government's commitment to diversifying the economy through massive investment in culture and tourism. Mr. Mohammed offered the assurance at the meeting of the National Council on Culture and Tourism held in Dutse, the Jigawa state capital. This year's conference, which is the 9th edition, focuses on using tourism and culture as a panacea for Nigeria's economy.
This administration was clear in its determination to enhance the economic fortunes of Nigeria through the diversification of the country's economy, with a view to reducing poverty, creating jobs, stimulating revenue generation, ensuring effective utilization of local resources, and providing sustainable peace and security. May I at this juncture challenge the culture and tourism stakeholders to revisit existing policy documents, such as the National Policy on Culture and Tourism, pick up responsibilities apportioned to each one of us, and implement such without delay. The responsibilities of the federal government, states, local governments, and the private sector are clearly outlined for implementation in these documents. However, the policies are being reviewed in line with international best practices and will be presented to the Federal Executive Council for approval as soon as the reviews are concluded.
Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. Well, that's all from Abuja here. It's back to you, Ijoma, in Lagos.
All right, thanks a lot, Markwe. The federal government has asked individuals to leverage on the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme in order to avoid prosecution. And this advice was given by the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, and the selection of experts at a workshop in Lagos.
VIDS, one of the latest buzzwords among business owners and tax professionals, is an acronym for Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme. It has a limited time but holds the opportunity for taxpayers to regularize their tax status in relation to preceding periods. This workshop on the initiative is the second in the series, providing tax professionals with knowledge on the scheme.
Remember, the executive order says frank, full, complete and verifiable disclosure.
VIDS, as an initiative, has a 9-month period. Currently in its 5th month, the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, explains why Nigerians must take advantage of the program, which lapses on March the 31st of 2018.
The problem has been that the compliance has been very, very loose, and most people have been able to slip through the loopholes. But we have plugged, the data work that we're doing has plugged that major loophole. And so VIDS is really the window, and the last window, really, for anybody to come in and do the right thing.
The professionals had the floor for questions, key among which is VIDS timeline extension.
No comment, and the answer is no from the minister.
The minister also explains that VIDS is open to enterprises currently under audit.
So my suggestion in those cases would be, go ahead and declare. You then can negotiate with the FIRS or the LIRS to still avail you of the benefits under VIDS.
Other concerns raised were treated by tax experts and VIDS administrators.
When you take the financial statement, you still have to adjust it. So based on the tax rules, you know you haven't declared something before, even though it wasn't in the account, declare it now.
What you get from one rich individual may be more than what you get from the entire people in this hall. And that is the truth. So VIDS is so much in compliance with the national tax policy.
Nigeria's tax to GDP ratio is rated 6% and is one of the lowest in the world. With VIDS, the federal government looks to broaden the horizon.
Let's take a look at some business news now. Here's Anne Waudu.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Ijoma, and welcome to Business News. Africa's largest cement producer, Dangote, today expanded its footprint to the 17th country on the continent, birthing a new facility in Congo, Brazzaville. The new $300 million facility, commissioned by top Nigerian dignitaries, is a 1.5 million metric tons per annum plant that will create about 1,000 direct jobs in the country.
Will help to reduce and eventually replace the cement imports into Congo, Brazzaville, and these other countries. More importantly, it is our hope that this project we are commissioning today will further cement the existing cordial relationship between our two countries, the Republic of Congo and Nigeria. As we all know, cement is one of the basic inputs of infrastructure development. For Africa, a continent which faces severe infrastructural deficit, the need for local self-sufficiency in cement production cannot be overemphasized. We believe that this can help in bridging the infrastructural deficit and contribute to accelerate the development of the continent.
This sterling accomplishment makes the Dangote cement brand, and indeed Aliko Dangote himself, worthy ambassadors of our country, Nigeria. Mr. President, let me use this forum to state unequivocally that the federal government of Nigeria has consistently supported and encouraged the Dangote growth in the quest to contribute their quota to the economic emancipation of the African continent, which is blessed with a plethora of natural resources. I believe that it's only homegrown practical solutions that can address the myriad issues plaguing Africa today. And one of such challenges that Africa has been grappling with is that of infrastructure deficit. I'm confident that massive investments in cement production, which is a key driver of infrastructural development, will contribute in no small measure to addressing this perennial challenge.
Nigeria's stock market hit new highs at the close of trading today following gains recorded by bellwether stocks, including a 4.35% price increase from the NSE's most capitalized stock, and that's Dangote Cement. Bisi Adebayo has the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Reports. A total of 870.57 million shares worth over 5 billion naira were traded at the close of Friday's trading session, making it the highest volume turnover within 5 sessions this week. Over 70% of that total volume of transactions comes from Wapik Insurance. The all-share index also recorded its highest increase in recent weeks, notching up 1.85% above the 37,000 level, while the equities capitalization gained 236 billion naira to hit 13 trillion naira. Friday's stellar performance is driven significantly by the consumer and industrial goods sectors, as well as the banking and insurance, while the oil and gas sector closed unchanged. Flour mills and Dangote Sugar led 17 other price gainers by over 9%, while Nascon is a top loser ahead of 12 others. And that's it on the Stock Market Reports. I am Bisi Adebayo.
Performance is fairly mixed for global markets around the world amid political uncertainties in Europe, sell-offs in Chinese shares, and expectations of a strong holiday shopping season in the United States. Let's see the numbers for today. That's business news on the last trading day of the week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawado. It's back to you, Joma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10, Barcelona star Lionel Messi receives 4th Golden Shoe Award for emerging top scorer in Europe for 2016-2017. That's on sports. Please stay with us.